Howdy, lieutenants and economists.
The most volatile, evil, disgusting things on the planet, humans. If you have a video request, you can always go to assholeconsulting.com.
Yeah, I am gonna charge you, kids. And that is the importance of not fucking up.
You are such an asshole!
Cappy's back. Tell a friend. Guess who's back? Back again. Cappy's back. Cappy's back. Cappy's back. Cappy's back. Do-da-do-da-do-da-do. Oh, Capmeister is back. Back at the Northern Command after a long-ass drive that will never be repeated. That is the tragedy, the irony of driving. You're just sitting there, but it still drains you. This is a lengthy one from John. And John has sent me a 15-page article. And he says, I understand you're not going to go through the whole darn thing. And it's going to highlight something that we already know. It's written by Wes Enniza. And it's everything you can predict. And if you can predict, I guess this might be an axiom or a rule, that if you can predict them, do they have any value? You know, like, do we have to hear another article about why we need other people's money? I mean, those are a dime a dozen. And we're going to make fun of this. And I haven't read through it, but we can make fun of it because again, it is predictable. This is not an intelligent, this is not debatably even sentient person and a piece. And what it is I'm going to guess at 15 pages about trying to find shelter. It says, Letter from California, Give Me Shelter by Wes Enniza. And the fact it's 15 pages, this is I wouldn't even say marginally employed. I wouldn't say underemployed because it doesn't have any skills. This is your standard, woe is me, creative rights art major who didn't want to work a job, can't find a job, can't even get published, and now is going to use this as his cathartic release. Is that the correct use of that phrase? Where he wrote this magnum opus, 15 pages. This is also like a guy who was also complaining about lodging, but he was... Did he write for the Boston Globe? So I'm just trying to set it up. I'm trying to point out something different, something unique, so the rest of us who actually have a brain can read this and say, oh, that's what's happening. Again, the news is not the news. It's what the news is about, is the news. There's a guy, I think he wrote for the Boston Herald or Boston Globe. And it was like a 20-page piece about how he couldn't find lodging and it was for basic guaranteed income. And then you go back and you found out, oh yeah, well, I've been doing drugs and he just does, and then you looked him up and he was a loser. And when you look up this Wes Enniza guy, it's what you'd expect. He looks like one of the Try Guys. And he hasn't tried. You can see it in their face. You can visually, you can't judge a cover by the book. Some of them you absolutely can. When you look at this guy, he's last for kickball. And he ain't on our, oh God, the Vikings are attacking. We better get the tribesmen together and get our front line. He is not, it's like, yeah, you know what? You can't even be trusted to be a guy. I mean, it's just like, you're not going back with the women. I think you're excommunicated, pal. Hey, do you want him Vikings? Yeah, I don't know what he does. He writes 15-page papers why he can't find lodging and is entitled to it. So it's everything else. It's in Harper's, which, I don't even, Harper's was like this, wannabe hoity-toity, not even hoity, just wannabe hoity-toity. I think women read it. And not your STEM engineering type of gals either. But let's get to it. The cost of living in the Bay. Give me shelter. See, it's from the Rolling Stones. Get it? Good song, really good song, by the way. By Wes Enniza. Now, the client doesn't want me to read through the whole thing. I don't have the time today. I got other shit to do. But let's just look up at Wes Enniza. Let's just look him up, because if we go to Harper's, I'm sure you can find his Enniza.com. Okay. About. He looks like a young Garrison Keillor. You just could see it right there. This was not a guy you want on your side in a bar fight. You want him on the other team. I'm a writer whose essays and reportage appear in the New York Times Magazine, Harper's London Review of Books, the New York Times Book Review. I've written cover stories for the New York Times Magazine's Harper, and Mother Jones. All right, Mother Jones is a rank Marxist. In my essay about traveling through Africa with two of the world's greatest hitchhikers as notable selection of best American travel writing in 2019. Now, he's got a book. Do we want to do this test again? You know, hey, you're in the industry. You should have better sales than old Cappy. You should have more file. You should be kicking my ass. I'm not a journalist. I didn't major in English. I didn't major in journalism. I am the bottom of the barrel. If you can't even beat me, then it proves that at minimum, it proves that your degree was freaking worthless. Let's go to Amazon. You ever notice they never tackle really hard topics like I do retirement planning and getting out of poverty and how to solve black poverty? You know, that takes some research and data and find I went on an amazing experience and journey. But to think about it again, to show you, it'd be like me writing a book about my motorcycle rides. Well, sure, it might be interesting, but people aren't going to, that doesn't, I did some, you're writing about you jerking off. You're just doing fun. There's nothing wrong with it. Masturbating to life, that's what having fun is. Masturbating to life is what's having fun. I wrote about having fun. Oh, wow. Oh, Wes Enniza. What is this? Formal approaches to Slavic linguistics. Oh no, that's not. There's no book even available on Amazon. He doesn't even have the marketing to put it on Amazon. Wes Enniza. Book. Mother Jones. He reviews. All right. Hey, we can't even find his book. Notable selection. Best American travel writing in 2019. Well, how notable is it if I can't find it? For just shy of 10 years, I worked as a magazine editor, most recently at Harper's. I'm currently a contributing editor. I taught at the Pratt Institute and held posts at Middlebury Felt in environmental journalism. You majored, your career is work avoidance. That's what it is. And the 11th hour food and farming fellow at UC Berkeley. I proudly grew up lumpen proletariat in the Adirondack Mountains in upstate. What is this? Is this, hey, I'm a communist. He grew up. Let's look this up. The unorganized and unpolitical lower orders of society who are not interested in revolutionary advancement. Okay, good for you, buddy. In the end, for queries about my work, you have an agent. You have an agent. All right. So, you know, I'm going to just heat my coffee up. You guys sit and think about what great readings we're about to have. No. Now, knowing this, who wrote it, do you think we're going to hear anything new? Aside from a very, very long and roundabout way as to why we should give him more money. Why everyone deserves other people to work hard and sacrifice their private property so that this guy can live in a place that a billion other people want to live, apparently, among the feces that are on the street. And just... I'm just tired. If there's anything, it's the really, you just want free shit. Is that it? Just say you want free shit. Don't hide behind all these euphemistic words and these verbose states. Just say I'm lazy and I want free shit. That's it. It doesn't take 15 pages to say this. And that's what I'm predicting. I don't know what this article, I know it's about shelter, but I'm going to have a feeling it's going to inevitably say, we need more of other people to sacrifice, so I don't have a blah, blah, blah. That year, the ship of the ghost fire, I lived in a shack. I found the place just as the September Indian summer was giving way to a wet October. There was no plumbing or running water to wash my hands or brush my teeth before sleep. Electricity came from an extension cord that snaked through a yard of coyote mint and monkey flower and up into a hole I drilled in my floorboards. The structure was smaller than a cell in San Quentin, a tiny house, or a huge coffin, depending on how you looked at it. Well, that can't be possible because everything is perfect and regulations would allow for that. Oh, we're in San Francisco. Do you guys notice how what Marxist effect in reality, or affect in reality, is nothing near to what you demand of others and promise the world? Detroit, Compton, what is the crap hole? Is it Compton? No, Compton's LA, isn't it? I mean, here you are. Are you done living in squalor? Fuck it. Claire, you're not going to get angry at this one. 4 by 8 feet and 10 feet tall. So cramped it fit little but a mattress. My suit jackets and ties. Space heater, some novels. And a mason jar I peed in. The exterior of my hermitage was washed the color of running egg yolk. 2 redwood French doors with plexiglass windows hung cockeyed from creaky hinges. You see, we're going to really spend pages describing this, because that's what writers do. They paint a picture. A combination of lock provided meager security against intruders. White beadboard capped the roof. Its rim shading of a porch front and cinder blocks. After living on the East Coast for 8 years, I'd recently left New York to take a job as an investigative reporter magazine in San Francisco. Why aren't they paying you a living wage? They didn't pay you, huh? They didn't pay you a living wage? Oh. Because Marxists are supposed to do, especially to their own kind. If it seems odd that I was a fully employed editor who lived in a 32 square foot shack, that's precisely the point. My situation was evident of how distorted the Bay Area housing market had become. No, it's evidence that you majored in stupid shit. Worthless people majoring in journalism are flooding the market, and they don't have to pay you. It's like teachers. We need engineers and doctors. We don't need more teachers and journalists who want to write masturbatory pieces like this. Do you listen to the real world? No, you're a Marxist. You believe in whatever. I deserve, I'm entitled, I deserve Jennifer Aniston to get a boob job, go back in time 20 years younger, and have red hair, and give me daily blowjobs. I wonder if it's going to happen. Cappy, come on, man. The brutally inflicted upon the poor, now trickling up everyone but the super rich. The problem was nation. That can't be happening. San Francisco knows exactly what it's doing. They know everything. The problem was nationwide, although, as Californians tend to do, they've taken the trend to an extreme. Across the state, a quarter of all apartment dwellers spend half their incomes on rent. Nearly half the country's unsheltered homeless population lives in California, even while the state had the highest concentration of billionaires in the nation. Well, just for cost of living, I wonder if that's true. That probably is. There's a lot of stuff going on. In the Bay Area, including West Oakland, where my shack was located, the crisis was most acute. 10 cities had sprung up along the sidewalks, swarming with capitalism's refugees. No! You just said you're in a leftist, socialist, quasi-socialist state, and housing is super expensive, and now people can't afford to live there. That's not our fault. That's not capitalism's fault. And the homeless, no, those are losers. Those are people who don't want to work for a living. They belong in your little commune over there. It's not capitalism. Capitalism doesn't have socialism. We don't have social programs. Those people sink or swim. And it's amazing what hunger and poverty will do to somebody. The only people that are truly homeless in capitalist societies are those who are mentally ill. And then you might make the argument, maybe we need a social program to deal with that. But people can't afford. You just said it. You're living next to the tent people. Oh, those people over there are capitalist refugees. What are you? Anything but to blame yourself, right? Is that it? It's just anything to protect that little petty ego of yours. You're lazy, you didn't want to work. So are most of those people in those tents. And you guys give away the free gimme that's, and you do have nice weather. The tent sees a sprinkled along the sidewalks, swarmed with capitalism's refugees. Telegraph mission, market, giant, every bridge and overpass had become someone's roof. Down those same streets, tourists scuttered along on segways and techies surfed the hills on motorized longboards transformed by their wealth into children. Just as the sidewalk kids in the cardboard boxes on hate, or People's Park aged overnight into decrepit adults, the former racing towards the future, the later drifting away from it. Well, choices. I bet you those techies, probably they learned to code. Do you want to bet they learned to code? I wonder if we did a study on homeless people and what they majored in. I wonder if journalism majors will be there. To my mother and girlfriend back east, the shack situation was a problem to be solved. Can we help you find another place? Yeah, you do need to depend on women. You always got to depend on other people. Can't you just find roommates and live in a house? But the shack was the solution, not the problem. As a penance for abandoning my girlfriend, I still paid part of our rent in New York. Well, they never were good at financial planning. And after covering my portion of our bills, my student loan payment... No. How can that be? Wait. You went to a socialist institution, right? A college and university, and they took your money? Let me guess, that's capitalism's fault, not the Marxist communist professors and college admin, right? That's somehow my fault. White guy's fault? White peanut guy's fault? Is it Ronald Reagan? Is it Trump's fault? You signed up for that dipshit degree, and now you have student loans and you can't... Oh, God, it just... You shoot yourself in the foot. Oh, it's capitalism's fault. Why can't I find housing? In car insurance, I had about $1,500 over left month. That's not bad, actually. I'm kind of impressed. That wouldn't have been so little to live on, except that according to some estimates, apartments then averaged $3,500 a month in San Francisco, $3,000 in Oakland. Why do you have to live in San Fran? You are a journalist major. You could go live in Kansas. You don't. It's the internet, the telecommuting. You have to be where the action is. I'm an intellectual, and I have to be where the other intellectuals are. That year, 2016, 83,733 low-income San Franciscans would apply for the city's affordable housing lottery, fighting for 1,025 lots. You bitch about capitalism, and then you show just how bad communism fails. That's what? Less than 2% of demand is met. If you loosen the fuck up on the regulations, I bet you some developers could come in there and build. But I distinctly remember an article quite some time ago about how builders like, fuck that, I'm not building in San Francisco. Nope. Because again, communist leftists decided to put a shit ton of regulations in there, and now it doesn't pay to build. Now capital won't flow to build there. But we'll just force people to build. Really? With guns pointed at their head? Oh, then we're back to slavery. There were still cheap rooms available in the Bay, to be sure, mostly ramshackle Victorians or weathered Maybach bungalows where artists or activists or punks lived collectively and were protected by rent control. But those, let me guess, these weren't the greatest living conditions. But those rooms were in dwindling supply and astonishing high demand. On Craigslist or by word of mouth, vacancies were often offered exclusively to QTP, queer and trans people of color or BAR, Bay Area born and raised. Well, that's bigotry. That's racism, discrimination, whatever. It's amazing how people on the left are guilty of what they accuse others of being. As reasonable defensive measure against the ravages of the tech company, which block by block was replacing the weird old subculture with Stanford MBA and Google engineers. All those nasty people with all their money buying things. Why don't you do something? Look, there's a boom in tech, and there are ancillary businesses that also co-boom with other boom, like baristas. Why don't you go sling coffee instead of write this shit? You'd actually make some money. You know, there's nothing wrong with that. Oh, but you think that's beneath you. For those of us caught in the middle, it meant that to score a bed, you have to be QTPOC friends willing to make an exception for you, be a member of an obscure Facebook group like that, which served as an underground network for people seeking shared housing. The page also offered barter services like my shop, massage, and childcare, at least on one occasion, a free hearse. As in other cities under intense economic pressure, with unemployment below 4% nationwide, and San Francisco, the Bay Area, being ground zero to the most booming part of that economy, that'd be the tech sector, it's not under economic pressure, it's under strangulating regulation. Do you want housing? Do you guys in San Francisco want housing? Then let capitalists come in there and build you the housing. You guys aren't going to do it. That would require a real skill like carpentry and tradesmanship. You guys all want to be writers and authors. Hey man, well, okay, you know what? Your parents got money, you could borrow money. I'm sure you can scrape up some bucks. Will you let the capitalists go in there and build it for you? No, you're going to make all these rules and continue, and then the people, the skilled people, the real workers, not you dipshits. They're like, fuck it, we're not coming in there. We'll go build in Texas. I don't care. You guys go live in your leftist utopias here. As in other cities under intense economic pressure, marginalized inhabitants had created an alternative black market rental economy. That's not right. You can't go under the black market economy. That's not right. You must adhere to the government. They know everything that's good for you. The currency may have been cultural capital, but competition was still for cultural capital. I love it. Your skin color, or your choice of gender this week is capital that you can exchange. It's big. Is there anything more ist than that? Again, guilty of what you accuse other people of. Capitalists, what color's your money? Green, come on in. What you got some of that money? I don't give a shit what you look like. Give it to me. There you go. All right. See you later. You need anything else? As long as you got that green stuff, you do. You know. You okay? I'm here. Do you suck penis but believe you have a vagina even though you have penis? Yes. Okay, you can rent from us. Oh yeah, that's not bigoted. I hope you Gen Zers are paying attention to this. I spent a few weeks on friends' couches before an acquaintance posted on Facebook about a room opening in his 8-bedroom house in Oakland for $475 a steal, and I messaged him immediately. 30 people had already written, he said, and his roommates had also received scores of inquiries, so the odds weren't good. He stopped answering my emails after that. The same thing happened with a few vacant rooms I tracked down at illegal warehouses. Did it? Wait a minute. Isn't it in San Francisco where people were living illegally in a warehouse and it caught fire and a bunch of people died? Was that LA? Still, something you got to worry about here, guys. I'm not all for the Uber regulations of San Francisco, but I am for safety code. Cavernous lofts where residents scrimped on such things as functioning plumbing or reliable electricity in order to have a space to paint and make sculptures and host bands all night. When do you work? What about this crazy idea? You got all these people who want to live somewhere. Why don't you guys form a commune? You could form a 503c, okay? You could even get government money because that's all that seems to exist in the non-tech sector of San Francisco. And then you guys build housing like Habitat for... Could you do that? No, because that's real work. I want to paint and feel myself and discover myself and feel myself and discover myself while painting and writing. I don't want to actually do anything. And why do you have to do it? Why do you have to do it in the most expensive place in the country? Is that your entitlement? Is this what you're righted to? Is this your birthright? Places like the Dildo Factory or Hecko's or Ghost Ship, whose leaseholder posted a roommate wanted ad on Craigslist that winter seeking all shamanistic rattlesnake, sexy jungle, jazz hobo gunslingers looking for a place to house gear, use studio, develop next level Shaolin discipline, After driving your taxi cab late at night, build fusion earth home bombs, bunker, spelunker shelters, and plant herbaceous colonies in the open sun and air. I didn't answer the ghost ship ad, but I went to a few auditions. At auditions? You got an interview? You know, when I ran rental property, it was a background check. That was it. Didn't even meet the people, really. Oh, no, I did, because they'd have to come. Back in the olden days, you had to fill it because you had to see it and they had to sign it. Didn't care. Did they get... You got to go in for an interview? More room for discrimination? Good credit score? Got that green ship? Come on in. No criminal record? Come on in. There were so many people vying for the spaces, I rarely got a call back and was offered a room. Never offered a room. Squandered whatever cool I once possessed. Cool. This is like the reverse of popularity in high school, where it's like you got to be the most rejectable leftist Marxist loser to have cachet. It's like the opposite of a popularity contest. It turned out by building a normie career as a writer and editor on the East Coast. You can't be 60. Were you a sellout? Did you get accused of being a sellout? Oh man, the crabs in the bucket. Oh man. What's it like to be bourgeoisie and an elitist now? They're whatever your name was. Growing up in rural upstate New York, raised on food stamps and free school lunches, my dad off to prison for a spell. Wouldn't you learn not to do that? Wouldn't you learn that living off the government sucks and it should drive you to have your own money? I never met anyone who made a living at publishing. That's not going to stop you, right? Because dreams. But in 2007, I was accepted to UC Berkeley's graduate program in journalism. Is this where the professors took your money, but you're going to blame capitalists and taxpayers to bail you out for your stupid, lazy choice? I saw this school, and on top of it, oh, this is the story of me. It's all me. You want to talk about myopic, solipsistic, and just self-centered. I give you the American leftist liberal, the millennial journalism major. There's no concern. I want to date the hot chick with big boobs. Well, I might. I asked the question. I say, Clary, you're not the only thing in this world. She also exists, and she might have expectations and standards. What should I bet you she wants me to hit the gym and make some money and do some other things. And then I go hit the gym because I am not the only person alive. I'm actually selfless. I acknowledge there's other people and they might have different demands and wants. So I go and consider what other people want. You fuckers never do that. Communism is fuck the world owes me a living, and by God, I'm going to do what I want, whether or not I can make a living at it, whether or not it actually produces value for the rest of society. And even living in the most leftist Marxist place, you still could barely get by. Now you guys are living in dangerous situations, electrocution, fire, like again, that. Do you wake up? Or is your laziness so strong you will do, there's a reason you're living next to the people who are intense. Because they are so afraid of work, they'll do anything to avoid it, including living in poverty. I understand on a genetic level, because laziness was a survival mechanism, it's very hard ingrained in human psyche. But when does this frontal lobe that all you leftists claim to have, this intelligence, where you can have critical thinking and realize, well, hey, now with a little bit of effort, a fraction of the work I spend trying to scrimp by and collect cans, if I learn a skill or a trade, I won't live in a tent. Well, no, see, you want to go major in journalism. And you borrowed money from hardworking people like me so that you could go and follow your dream and live in filth. Graduate. Oh my God, graduate in journalism. I saw the school and the scholarship it offered as a possible entry to the world I believed wasn't available to working class people like me. No, it's available. You've succeeded. You're about as successful as most graduates are in journalism. So at the age of 25, I stuffed my Toyota Camry with books and clothes. I'd accompanied by my then girlfriend and $500 in savings. Dude, 25, I'd already owned a home. I was already building equity. I didn't have the government help you did. Preppy. I drove west to the state I'd never visited, hoping Cormac McCarthy was right when he wrote No Country for Old Men that the best way to live in California is to be from somewhere else. The Great Recession had not yet hit, and cheap housing was easy enough to find. Well, if the Great Recession hit, you should have found some really cheap housing. You should have gotten cheaper. If you're someone with no credit or bank account, 25, you don't have a bank account. Jesus fucking Christ. My girlfriend and I broke up and landed at a ratty mansion, Fort Awesome in South Berkeley. My rent for the mansion's 11 bedrooms, one of the 11 bedrooms, was $300 a month. There was an outdoor kitchen the size of a large cottage, 3 guest shacks, and a wood fire hot tub built from redwood wine vat. About 30 people lived in the compound, including a few children. The adult residents were a mix of hippies, crusties. What's a crusty? Anarchists, outcasts, techies, chemistry grad students, addicts, and activists. A cohort that shouldn't have lasted a day, but in fact lasted 6 years, ever since some of the residents had banded together and with the help of Community Land Trust, there's your taxpayer. You guys can't do it. You just cannot support yourselves. Bought the plot for $600,000. Today the property is worth about $4 million. Let me guess, you're not going to pay the taxpayer back on that. I was unwittingly among the vanguard of a wave of gentrification, a transient creative living in a rough neighborhood not yet fully colonized by the white middle class, and sometimes it was tense. I almost brawled one night with 3 teens who shoved me out front of a liquor store. Another night I fought off a mugger and came home with a black guy. But otherwise the Bay was astonishingly convivial. For the first time in Oakland's history, the city's population, African American, Latino, Asians, and white residents were almost exactly equal in size. And I fell in love with dozens of squats, warehouse galleries, where black hippie kids and white gutter punks and queer Asian ravers all hung out and partied together, paving the way for later spaces like Ghost Ship. It felt like the perfect time to be there, like I'd imagine 80s in New York or Lower East Side. There's nothing wrong with this mix of different races and groups of people and stereotypes. There's nothing wrong with it. There's no value in it either. It is what it is. What are you doing? What have you done? And I was well on my way to finishing my book I had always wanted. And then I had picked up a skill or a trade to fix cars. And then where's your journey? Where's your path to becoming the hero? It's just you taking it all in and like, oh, look. I mean, they're like zoo creatures. They really are. Non-white people like zoo creatures. Oh, look, the blacks are going to go over here with the Latinos and the Hispanics and the, oh my God, look. Oh, they're about to form a bio-community. Tina, come look. Let's study it. Get some government funding to study this. Do something with your fucking life. Some of the wildest parties took place in a landfill since the 1960s. The city of Albany, immediately north of Berkeley, had been dumping industrial waste in its shoreline, creating a 33-acre peninsula of debris that jutted out into the Bay Area like a toe of Italy's boot. In the 1990s, cops began encouraging the homeless to settle on this abandoned stretch of land, and soon others joined to make the advantage. I'm just going through this more and more, and it's just a long story, and it's painful. Portrait of urban homestead, blah, blah, blah. Now we're going into a soap opera I don't care to. At the shack, Eric helped me and Jenny unload the Jeep. Prematurely bald with a halo of wiry hair and bushy brown eyebrows and a daily uniform of ragged Carhartt flannel and pink. Dude, just say he was balding. He had sad blue eyes, cough from weed smoke, blah, 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 blah. Who are these people? What's going on? This is his journey. This is his adventure. He wants the world to know it. I'm not going to read it because it's boring. It's not telling us anything new. Of course, comments aren't available in Harper's Magazine. There you go, guys. This is the life of a communist journalist. This is what you get to look forward to when you major in stupid shit. We don't have to have, here it is, a Wes Enniza. We don't have to have any more Wes Ennizas. You think he's gonna, you think he's gonna have an epiphany and wake up? He's 30-something. It's 20,000, yeah, he's in his 30s. 25, yeah, he's 35. He's not gonna change. He's not gonna wake up. He's too infiltrated with the Marxist idea. That's all he's got. That's all he's got. You know, I don't wake up, oh, what are the zoo creatures of minorities doing today? Oh, look, they're doing this. I got shit going on. I gotta go here, I gotta fix the car, I gotta do that, I gotta write this. Do you want that life, guy? Hey, look, learn from the mistakes of others, Gen Z. Monkey see, monkey don't do. This is exactly why you don't want to become a journalism major, let alone a communist. This kid's life is wasted. It's wasted. Kid, he's a full-grown adult. All right, that's it. John, you asshole, making me read this. If you want to read through it, you can. I don't know why you want to waste an hour of your day, but you can read through Gimme Shelter by Wes Enniza. Rhymes with... Bless. Wes rhymes with bless. I don't know what you guys were thinking. Anyway, if you want some real shit to read about journaling and gets to the point, links down below. Check out my blog, CaptainCapitalism.blogspot.com. Check out here, Wes. Here's a book for you. Why don't you guys spend $8 on this book, read it, and not be shit creek like Wes? We'll see you guys later. Toodles.